Hello friends, you're welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to consider how to use your MS Word. It's a simple package that you can easily learn with time, just with your commitment. And MS Word is used so many things. You can use it for document preparation, you can use it to prepare your CV, you can use it to draft a report, and so many things you can do with your MS Word. So let's look at how you can use your MS Word package. Of course, this is the environment of the MS Word, and it will be good if we understand the environment. Of course, if you look at the top here, you will see document 5. That is the title bar. So anytime you save this work, you will see the name in which you used to save the work at this very place. That's where you see it. Now this very place is your quick access toolbar. On this quick access toolbar, there are commands that you do use often and you wish to keep them here for easier access. For instance, I may wish to click on save, and I will have to click like file and then locate save. But if I have this save icon here, I can simply click once. You see, it has saved me a step in arriving at that command. So when you have commands placed at your quick access toolbar, they make for quicker access to that particular command. Of course, when you look at this very place, you see our ribbon. From this very home down to this very place is our ribbon, consisting of tabs. We have home tab, we have insert tab, we have a design tab, we have a layout tab, we have reference tab, we have mailing tab, review tab, help tab. And all these tabs consist of commands. You can see all of these things are commands that are on this home tab. You can see this very one, the insert tab. These are commands under the insert tab. And if you go through all of them, you will see all the different commands in that very place. Of course, this is your file menu. Now, if you look here, you can see your dialog box. If you click by here now, you will see there is a box or a launcher that will appear for you to still see other commands. So, and if you look by the top of this very place, this is your ruler bar, and you can still see it from this very end. That's your ruler bar. Of course, while you work on your document, you will need to set up whatever you are working with, whatever you are doing on this particular MS Word. At times you will need to measure what you are doing to ensure that it is a kind of being captured. For instance, if you are printing a letterhead, you can use this to kind of determine where you will shift from before printing that particular letter. Now, this is your document area. Of course, your document area is where you do majorly your typing, all the things you need to write, you write them here. And that's where you do all of those things. Now, this is your scroll bar. You use it to scroll through in what you are doing. With your scroll bar, it enables you to quickly scroll. If you have so many pages or even a page, you can scroll from up down to bottom. Now, this is your status bar. You will notice that if I type anything here now, take for instance, as I am typing, you discover that the number of words are increasing. Let me repeat that. Let's say Obi is a ball. You can see I have how many words here, and that is I have 4 words here. telling me the number of words I've written and also indicating the number of pages I've written. Take a look at that very thing again. You discover that if the pages increase, it will also indicate it on the status bar. You can see from this very place I have up to 1,255 words, and from this very end you see I have 3 pages and I am in page 1 of that 3 pages. Now I am now in page 2. You can see the status bar indicates all of those things. I am now in page 3. It will indicate that. Of course, you can right click to select any of those things from here. You can see this page number, all of word count, and very many of them. Anyone you so wish, you can just check it and it will be on that status bar for you. Now, of course, if you look by this side, you see a different view mode. We have read mode, we have print layout mode, we have web layout mode. Of course, in your MS Word, I advise you to leave it at print layout mode, because from there you can easily determine the number of pages and the settings of your work. But if you turn it to say read mode, you discover that what you have set now is a read mode. Let's say you just want to go through what you have prepared, you can just leave it in that way. Of course, for me to return back there, I will click on edit document. It will return back to my print layout mode. Now you see web layout mode. You can see the way the web layout mode is. It's not actually showing you this is the number of pages you worked on. Everything is just straight, as if you are reading newspaper. So, but if you turn it back to print layout mode, you can see I have this number of pages and all of that. These are my settings. This is what you tend to get when you leave it in print layout mode. Then of course you see a zoom slider. With this I can zoom in and zoom out, zoom in and zoom out. With that you can easily see, let's say you have someone you are preparing a work for, and maybe the person is not actually seeing it clear due to the eye problem or whatever. You can actually zoom it from this very place, and the person will sincerely appreciate it because you have actually helped him or her from stressing the eyes and all of this. Now this is just the environment. Of course, let's dive into looking at what we have from this very place. Take the tabs one after the other and look at the commands that are associated with each of these tabs. Now, from what I have here now, if I want to bolden anything I have written here, all I just need to do is to highlight that particular word or that particular sentence I wish to bolden. Take for instance, let me say I have like introduction here. I can highlight introduction, then come over here and I will make it bold by clicking on this B. You can see I bolden it. It's quite different from these other ones. I can as well italize it by clicking on this one. You can as well underline it by clicking on this very one. You can see the underline. Now anytime you see an arrow that goes like this, it tells you that there are still other things that are obtainable in that very place. So if I click this arrow that goes downward, you can still see other types of underline. You can see them. Now it also gives us room to as well give it a color. You can see what I have, and that is the underline. So of course, any type of underline you so wish, you can just select it. So let me go back to this and return it back to automatic. Now this is what you can do to achieve all of these things. Now let's assume I want to remove it from this underline, italics and bold. I can just simply click back on this. You see it is deselected. When you click on it, it is selected. When you click back on it, it is deselected. You can see all of that. Okay. Now I can as well change the font of this by, let me highlight all the things I've written here. You can see the font face of it, and select from the given option here. You can see the font style has actually changed. You can as well select any one you so wish to use. It is all left for you. And when you select the font you wish to use, you can as well increase it from this very place. You can see. Let's say you already know the type of font you want to use. You can simply type the name of that font here. Let's say Times New Roman. The moment I type on it, you see it will pop up. You can press your enter and it will show up for you. Then from here now, assuming I want to just quickly set the font size at 15, I can just easily type 15 and press my enter. It is immediately adjusted for me. Now all of these things are things you can as well do to whatever you are working on. Now remember, for you to quickly effect all those changes, you need to first of all highlight them so that it will be effected. Now when you look at this very one, you see Strikethrough. The Strikethrough, when I click it, you see a line that crosses across that particular word that I have written. Okay. Now if I want to remove it, I will select it again and I'll go back there and uncheck it. Now on that side you can use your Strikethrough. Now you will see this very one, subscript and superscript. Now the subscript goes to the down part of whatever you've written, while the superscript is at the top. Let's see how we can apply this in a certain write-up. Let's say in our secondary school or in our schools, we must have been taught a number base. For instance, you have 101 base 2. You see, this base 2 will not just go down that way. All you just need to do is highlight that 2. I'm holding my shift key and my arrow key to select it, the one that goes to the left. I've selected this 2. Having selected that 2, I can now click on this subscript. You see now, I now have base 2 written there for me. And so that is how you can obtain that. Now let's say I want to write x squared. Now you see, having written x and 2, you see 2 does not just go up that way. All you still need to do is select that 2 and you press this your superscript command and it will go up. Now if you observe carefully, you will discover that each time I hover on this, you will still see the keyboard shortcuts attached to each of them. You can see this on Ctrl plus Shift plus plus. That's what the keyboard shortcut you can use to achieve all of these things. Now let's move further. If I select this and I come to this very place, you see increase font size. You can see from this one, decrease font size. If I click on this now, you see the font sizes are increasing. You can see it is actually decreasing. Having clicked on that particular one, it will actually decrease and increase accordingly. Now from this very place, you see change case. Now if I click on this now and I say all of it should be a sentence case, of course it's already a sentence case. When you talk of sentence case, the first letter of the word that starts that sentence will always be in capital letter. Now can decide to put all of them in lowercase. You see everything is now in lowercase. You may decide to put all of this in uppercase by selecting that one. It is already in uppercase. You may decide to capitalize each word by selecting this. Each word is starting with capital, and that is what that does. You can see toggle case. When you click on toggle case, each letter that begins each word starts with small letter. It's just like the opposite of capitalize each word. Each letter that begins each word starts with capital letter. And that is what is obtainable from that very place. Now, if you look from here now, let's say, let me just bolding this for a while and this, and let's say I wish to highlight this with my highlight color. I can simply click this. You see, having selected this and I click on this now, you can see it has been highlighted here for me now. I may still decide to change the font color of this write-up. Let me just select this particular one and change the font color either to red. You can see it is now in red. I may decide to change it to blue. It is now in blue. Okay. Now you can see any color I so wish, I can just select it and it has been applied for me. So, and that is what is obtainable from that very place. Now, if you look from here now, I may select this particular one and you see this clear all formatting. Look at what it does now. All the formattings that I have applied to this will be cleared. Now let me click on it. You see, it returns the formatting, the bolding, the italics, the font size that was increased, and everything was returned. You see that. Now, for me to remove this highlight color, I can simply just select and I say no color. Everything is removed. So, and that is what that clear formatting does. Now, take for instance, I have done this and I boldened this, italicized it. If I wish to apply this same effect to this particular one, there is an easier way to do it than highlighting this and doing it one after the other. All you just need to do is, first of all, just keep your cursor on this very place. You see this format painter. Click on it. You see something that looks like a brush that follows your mouse cursor. With this now, I can now select this particular one. This same changes that is here is now applied to this very one immediately, without me having to do it one after the other. Now, take for instance again, I click on this format painter. It changes to a brush. I can highlight this paragraph. You see, it has been applied there for me. So, and that is what is obtainable in that very place. Now, if you look from here now, if I highlight this now, I can actually also cut and also copy. When you talk of cut, what it does is that it removes that particular selection and also just a kind of place it on your clipboard. Remember, your clipboard is just like a temporal holder of the things you've copied or cut from your system. Now, if I cut this, it will remove this selection. Everything I've selected will be removed. Look at it. You can see it is removed. Now, I can decide to paste it any other place. Let me say I decide to paste it. I can now go to this very place and I will say paste. You can see I've actually pasted what I've copied. Now, but when you say copy, you can see what copy does is that it gets a copy of that selection that you've done and it holds it on that clipboard without actually removing it from that very place. It's just like the opposite of cut. Now, I have copied this now. You can see it's still there. Now, I may decide to paste it here. by going to my paste, I can simply click on this. You can see it is pasted here for me, and that is just the difference between all of these two things, cut and copy. Now if you click here now, you can still see other things attached to it. Now let's say I come over to this dialog box or dialog launcher. I can click here now. You see other things that are related to font in this very place. You can see all of these things that we did. You can see my font color, my underline style, all these things, bold, italics, size of the font itself, and the strike through, and all of that. Now you see that we still have other things that are attached to this very place. I can select this and I click on this dialog launcher. I may decide to say strike through. You can see the output from this very place. If I say double strike through, you can see the double strike through. I may decide to say everything superscript, everything jumps up, subscript jumps down. You can see all of that. I may decide to add a shadow to it. You can see there is a shadow that is added to this particular write-up now. I may decide to go back there and I say remove the shadow, give it an outline. You can see what it has to show us here. I may as well decide to emboss it. You can see what I have under emboss. You can see what we have under engrave. You can see what we have, small caps. Everything is in caps, in small. You can see everything, all caps, this hidden and all of that. There are things that are obtainable there. If you still click on under this advanced, what it has there for you is that there are settings that you can easily adjust from here. So but if you do not know how to make those settings, you can just leave it. Nothing will change from this very place. Of course, you can see character spacing, 100%, normal spacing, all of that expanded, condensed, and the positioning and all of that. So but I advise you can just leave it this way. So let me say I click OK, everything is in order. Now this is what is obtainable under this font setting and this clipboard. Now let's move over to this very side. Under paragraph, you can see all these things that are obtainable there. You see a bullet, that is the numbering format. You can see numbered format. If I am to make list of things, take for instance, I am to list the names of people. I am to list names of people given to me to a kind of prefix. All I just need to do, I may decide to use bullet listing or numbered listing. Now, take for instance, let's say names of successful candidates. I can decide to use this bullet listing. All I just need to do is click on it. You see John, you see Grace, you see Blessing, you see Michael. You can see as I am writing and pressing my enter, those bullet listing, this bullet listing comes up automatically. Anytime I am done, all I just need to do is to double click on this, my enter key, and the bullet listing will stop. Take for instance, if I am done, I'll just click twice on my enter. It has actually stopped. And if I wish to change this this format, I can click here. You see other bullet listing format here, and you can decide to use any of these stuff from here. If you want, you can click on this one, use it. So that is how you can use bullet listing. If you want to say use a numbered listing, there are different number listing that you can use as well. Let's say we have numbered listing. Let's say you come here now under numbering, you can click on this. You see 1 appears immediately. Let's say we have Donald. Let's say we have Franklin. You see the way it goes just sequentially. And there's one thing about this numbered listing which I will show you in a short while. Let's say I just have a maker. Now remember, if you are done listing, all you just need to do is to double click your enter key and it will stop. Now if you still go there, you still see all that numbered listing format. You can see this one. You wish to have it this way, this other way with A, B, C, this way in caps, this way Roman numerals. All of these, anyone you so wish, you can as well just leave it that way. Now if you look at what we have here, if I want this to start, this number listing to start from 5, I can just right click. You see set numbering value. Now when you have clicked on it, you can come here, set value to, I can say 5, and I say okay. You can see it now begins at 5, 5, 6, 7. So that's how you can set it. So anytime you wish to follow in that way, it is all left for you. But you can just, let me say, leave it back at this, because this is what I want. Now here shows you different levels which you can as well quickly do from this very place. Different levels. Okay, now let's say I have this A. You can see this is what I have. You can see all of that. Now if I am done, you can see how it jumped. I can highlight it, come over to this very indented stuff, and I can just hold and drag, set it however I want it. So that is how you can actually control these different levels that it give you from here. Now that is how you can do your listing. Now let's move over to other things. If you look from here now, you will discover that we also have other things that are obtainable, like your alignment. What you have written can be aligned left, it can be aligned center, it can be aligned to the right, it can be justified. If you look at this write-up, you discover that they are all aligned left, and that is why you see this part being straight. But while you come to this very part, it is in a zigzag format because it is aligned left. Now you can see it from here. That is your left alignment. Now if I want to align it at the center, I can click on this particular one. Let's say I highlight this now and I say center alignment. You can see what I have under center alignment. This is what is obtainable. If I say right alignment, you can see what is obtainable under right alignment. Now when you see justify, you can see the whole of this from the left down to the right. It is well aligned. And I advise you, whenever you want to prepare any document, be it report, be it letter, be it any kind of write-up, you can always justify it to kind of have a good alignment. So, and that is what is obtainable under this alignment. Now, you can as well decide to also set the line spacing by coming over to this very place. Let's say I highlight this now. Now, if you come up here now, you see different line spacing. If I say 1.0, you can see it adjusted and they kind of squeeze this cell. If I say 1.15, 1.5, 2, you can see the spacing. If I say this, say 3.0 spacing, you can see what I have. Now, you can see, let me leave it at 1.5. 1.5 is okay, based on what I want. You can see. You can, if you compare this to this very one, you see the difference. So anyone reading it will not struggle to kind of know the line that he or she is reading. So with this, you can see it more and more clear. That is what is obtainable there. Now, if you come up here now, you see shading. Now we'll see that in effect. Okay, you can see what we have under the shading. I selected this, and the shading just shaded this paragraph on what I've just based on what I've just selected. Let me say undo it by saying no color. Sorry, highlight it. Say no color. You can see that. Now, that is how you can do that. Now you have your borders. We will look at borders when we get to table, because you will see the effect more when we will be working under table. Now let's say you have this now, you can see, but you may not really get to know this. We will soon get to table and then we'll see it more in action. Now if you look from this up, you will still see things like let's say I have this right up, John, Matthew, Grace, Michael, Agnes. Let's say we have Bones. Let's say we still have Fred. Now all of these things I've listed them. Assuming I want to align this in alphabetical order, or say ascending or descending order, all I just need to do is to select this. You can now come over to this very place. You see sort. Click on this sort. This will come up. You remember it's working with paragraphing. I can say ascending order or descending order. Let's leave it at this ascending order and we'll see what it is. You discover that Agnes is supposed to come first, followed by Bones, Fred. You see the way it is aligned. Assuming I still want it to go in descending order, click back there. You see descending order and I click OK. You see Michael, Matthew, John, this. You see the way it is. Now this Q sign just indicates or shows the paragraph marking of the things you have actually done. You can see at the end of each paragraph you see this symbol. You can see it at the end of each paragraph, but it just shows you the paragraph markings and all of that. So I can just uncheck it and work with what I am doing. Now you can, if you click here now again, you see other things that are associated with your paragraph. You can see the spacing, the alignment and all of that. This one talks about setting, and still leave the setting the way it is. If you are done, you can click OK. And that is that. Now, on this very place, this is indenting, decrease and the increase indenting. What this does, say I have this here, you can see if I click on increase indenting, you can see the way it is moving to the right, this moving to the left, and that is all about indenting. Now, if you look from this place, you see your styles. Now, we'll use this when we'll be doing a table of content. Let's say we wish to do table of content. This will enable you to do your table of content. Now, if you come up here, you see things like find, replace, select, and all of that. You want to find a particular word, you can just click on it. Let's say I'm looking for a word, nam. You can see it quickly selects that word. Anything you're looking for, you can simply type it and it will take you to that place. You want to replace a particular word, you see, let me say I wish to replace nam with go. It will quickly replace it. Now, there is difference between replace and replace all. When you say replace, it will just replace a particular word, a particular write-up you wish to replace. But when you say replace all, it will replace anywhere it sees this particular word. And one thing is that if you have it in between a word, it will alter the meaning of that particular word. So you have to be careful when doing that. I may just say replace. It has selected the one I wish to replace. I say replace. It has been replaced. Now you see it goes to the next. Assuming I click replace all, it will replace all of this anywhere it sees that. And once I am done, I click close. And that is what is obtainable there. You see this select. What select does is that it enables you to select an object. We'll look at it shortly on this very let's say under this insert. We'll look at some objects from that very place.